Hi, I'm Bruce Bennett from the RAND Corporation. I'm a senior defense analyst at RAND, and I work primarily on Korean issues and also weapons of mass destruction. I've been at RAND a little over 40 years. So I was talking today about the North Korean threats, especially over the last year, their missile launches, their nuclear tests, but also the tension that's created with the United States, and interestingly, the tension that it appears to be creating with China. If you go back to the previous leaders of North Korea, Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, the grandfather and father of the current leader, they didn't test missiles very much, and it's not until 2006 that they do their first nuclear test. Kim Jong-un has been much more active on missile tests, on nuclear tests, many more missile tests than his father and his grandfather combined over a combined decades of time. In now the 6 years since he's been in the leadership, he's done far more. So on the 4th of July, North Korea launched an ICBM that originated from a claim Kim Jong-un made in his New Year's Day speech that said that he would test an ICBM this year. On January 2nd, then President-elect Trump said it won't happen, which made that a challenge to someone who portrays himself as the god of North Korea. He couldn't be fallible, so he had to test an ICBM this year, and on July 4th he did, in particular to catch U.S. attention by doing it on our Independence Day. Prior to the Trump administration, the U.S. policy was strategic patience. We were simply trying to wait North Korea out. We were busy doing things in other parts of the world, and we didn't think we could get a negotiated outcome with North Korea. That, unfortunately, has allowed the threat to get far worse, to essentially an unacceptable level. We have done economic sanctions. The problem is that China accounts for about 85 to 90% of North Korea trade, and China has been reluctant to implement many of the sanctions. So they haven't been strictly enforced, and we still aren't really cutting off directly the missile and nuclear programs. We're really just imposing pain and letting North Korea live with that, hoping that sooner or later they won't be willing to live with it. But it hasn't succeeded so far. We could take military action, military attacks on North Korea. Surgical strike isn't going to work. Hitting 1 or 2 targets in North Korea isn't going to take out the threat. We'd have to hit dozens of targets to do that, probably over a many-week campaign. If you hit even 1 target, North Korea's threatened to retaliate, probably with artillery into Seoul, and that artillery into Seoul would almost certainly start a major war. South Korea would respond wanting to eliminate forever the North Korean threat. The other alternative is to go after North Korean internal politics. North Korean internal politics are very vulnerable. So we could take action to undermine his leadership position, telling about the reality of the world to his elites, his leadership, and helping them recognize that he is not helping them. In fact, he's undercutting the country and bringing it down, and maybe they need to consider a different leader.